Hi, this is Jonathan from Waterfront Diving. Just wanted to go over a few tech tips with you that may help you save a dive. So we frequently get people that say, you know, I think my BC is auto-inflating on me, and they have a hard time controlling their buoyancy. Well, there's really two things you can do to see if that is in fact happening, or if you need a buoyancy refresher course. In any event, the first thing you could do to check out to see if your BC is really auto-inflating is simply be sure all the air is out of it, hook it up to your regulator, turn your tank on, and leave it overnight. If it is in fact auto-inflating, you may very well be able to see that the BC has gotten more air in it overnight. That's one way. Probably a better way, though, is to actually take the inflator hose off of the BC and check it. And I'll show you how to do that right now. Obviously, disconnect the BC inflator. Unscrew the whole inflator from the shoulder. Okay, it's very easy. It has the hand grips on it, or the thumb grips on it. You can just unscrew that. In the back of the BC, you're going to see a white donut or O-ring. You want to be sure that that does not fall out and roll away on the floor, because if it does, when you reassemble the BC, and if it's not in there, you're going to have an awful leak. Okay, so we take our inflator, we hook it up to our low pressure inflator, we turn the tank on, and we simply immerse it in water. We happen to have in our repair area, we happen to have a little tank for purposes like this in rinsing equipment, but you can simply force the shoulder, the BC hose underwater. Now it's going to bubble for a while as air comes out of the hose. But if when you're doing that, you see a continuous stream of bubbles coming out the end of the shoulder here, that's an indication that it is auto-inflating. In fact, air is escaping, going into the BC without you calling for it by pushing the button. So to fix that, let me disconnect this. To fix that, really the only tools we need is somebody with gargantuan strength.
I'm right here.
Okay.
You can do it. I believe in you, Jonathan.
Okay, so if when you hold that underwater and you see the air escaping from the hose, we know that it's auto-inflating, and it's probably a bad Schrader valve. Schrader valve you're all probably familiar with from your car tires or your bike tires. In all BC inflators, in different configurations, there's a Schrader valve when you push the inflator button, allows the air to flow into the BC. Particularly when people use the BC a lot in salt water, salt gets into that Schrader valve and corrodes it, and it will stick open. So basically, in this particular model, there's an Allen wrench hole in the back of this plug. You simply undo that, set the inflator aside, and you take a Schrader valve removal tool, or if you don't have one of those, you could use a very small pair of needle nose pliers. Reach into the carrier, and you see the you see the Schrader valve right there. Take your Schrader valve tool or your needle nose pliers and simply unscrew the Schrader valve. The Schrader valve will come out. Now, if you look at that, it's metal, there's an O-ring on it, and that's all metal. And what happens is these get very, very corroded, and so that little plunger that you see going up and down will get stuck open, and air will escape into the BC. So what you can do with that is either come to us and get a new Schrader valve if you want, or again, if this is a field repair and you're trying to get back in the water quickly, take some WD-40 or some type of silicone spray, and spray this down really well, trying to get rid of the corrosion. You could even take a small brush or toothbrush or something and get the salt off it so that it plunges easily, okay? And then you simply reassemble it. By screwing it back in to the housing. And keep in mind the housing is plastic, so you don't want to over torque it. Just hand snug is fine. Also, pay attention when you take it apart and you go to put it together that the O-rings that are on it go back in before you reassemble it. In this particular model, there's just one O-ring which rests right here. And that's what keeps the air from bubbling out the side of this housing. And then you reinsert it in the bottom of the inflator. You take your Allen key and make it tight. And again, that's plastic, so don't overdo it. And that should do it. And 9 times out of 10, that's why a BC is auto-inflating. So again, you could leave it inflated overnight and see if it continues to blow up, having more air in the morning than it did when you went to bed. Or take the shoulder inflator off, immerse it in water, and be sure that hook it up to your regulator and be sure that no bubbles are coming out the end. That's the easy tech tip for today. Thanks for joining us.